Hello everyone, how are you? Today I am with Nallé Grinda, the founder of PadelX in United States. It's a pleasure to have you, Nallé. Please
Hello,
introduce
hello,
yourself.
Jose. How you doing? How are you? Thank you for having me, and I'm happy to be on your podcast. So, as you said, my name is Nallé Grinda. I'm the co-founder of PadelX here in Miami. I've been involved in paddle for the last 40 years, as I started playing for the first time in 1984, and been playing here and there as occasionally since, but really got into it in 2002 when I stopped my tennis career and graduated from UCLA. I decided to get as good as I could playing paddle over the years. Opened my first club in 2004, played professionally until 2010, and then decided to move to Miami, where I pursued my other career, which is real estate development. There was no paddle in Miami when I arrived. We built the first court in 2010, started expanding and making people aware of it over in 2012. Got some friends to get together, eventually started playing, doing some tournaments with the WPT, World Paddle Tour in 2014, 15, 16. Had a World Paddle Tour event in 2017, and finally the biggest one, the Miami Paddle Open, the blockchain Miami Paddle Open, that was in February of 2022. That really was the, I want to say, tipping point where I decided to spend majority of my time developing paddle and laying off the real estate business. Sold my company and created PadelX.
Yeah,
It took
a question
about two
there.
years.
A question there is how you see that special tournament, the World Paddle Tour, you said, because it was a special tournament in the schedule. Because as you remember, it was like the first tournament that Arturo Coelho won. Sorry, with Fernando Velastegui when he was like the couple.
Yes, yeah, it was an amazing tournament for many reasons. One of them being, like you said, Arturo winning it. Actually, we talked about it today. I was with him today. He's here now for, he lives in Miami and
Yeah.
trains in Miami. And we talked about it actually. And it was fun to see. And that after winning here his first tournament, he actually moved here and he's super happy about it. But yeah, it
How
was
do
a
you
great,
see it? How do you
what do
see
you
it,
mean?
like the movement of Arturo Coelho to live there in United States in order like to promote also the sport in United States?
Well, it's fantastic. I think it's going to drag the light onto the paddle world and the paddle industry in the United States even more, and it's definitely going to promote the game in the United States. I think that's the most important battle that the industry of paddle needs to engage today, is to conquer the United States, and that's why I am here. That's why somebody like Wayne Boych is promoting this as well, and with reserve and with the move of Arturo Coelho. But there's many other players that are coming. I can tell you, a few of them are here right now, and I think it's only the tip of the iceberg before many players move to Miami, because not only is there an ecosystem now with clubs, but there's also trainers, there's also coaches, there's activities and tournaments that are getting very active. So yes, Arturo Coelho is the top of the pyramid, but I think that a lot of players are going to move to Miami and to the United States in general.
Of course, it would be a good ecosystem and space where the professional players can get more about the paddle inside United States. Also, this week is going to be played the Reservoir Cup there in Miami. How do you see this tournament?
It's fantastic. The Reserve Cup is amazing, and it's not even a cup anymore. It's a series. There's three of them,
Yeah, in New
and
York.
yeah, it's another great example of what needs to be done to promote the game and shed some light onto the industry even more. And more of these events that take place, the more awareness will be brought to the game in the United States. And after that, we need to actually bring some clubs to the table that needs to that will allow us to provide the courts after the light is shed and the enthusiasm is brought with new players and new players and new customers that start playing paddle. I think that it's important that we can actually provide much more courts and quality clubs to the people.
Thank you, Nale. And how you see like the activation of the brands there? How is like moving all around the clubs that are nowadays existing?
Well, the brands have understood this. They are all present here in Miami. They all have distributors, if not directly, the brands themselves have representatives that live now in Miami, and they are pushing hard to promote paddle in the United States. I think many of the brands see it as a key market, and the ones that are not here or that are not are going to miss the train basically. And this is why we get contacted by the brands directly at PadelX all the time to activate. As soon as we do an event, the brands are supporting it. So it's a very good site.
So, what brands inside PadelX you are using or you are contacting nowadays? Some examples?
Well, at PadelX, we've chosen not to promote or to be partners with one brand in particular, except for Lacoste. We have an exclusive deal with Lacoste, who is basically we're kind of their pilot club inside the group to see if they want to engage further with paddle. And I think that the experience is very very successful. And through their sub brand called Technifibre, they have an exposure to the paddle market. But I hope that the main brand is going to come in stronger as well in the next few years.
Okay,
Other than
thank you.
that, we don't speak to specific brands. We speak to every brand, whether it's
Okay.
Boot Knox and all the other brands. We speak to them as well, but we don't have an exclusive.
Another question: when you are like selecting like the coaches you have inside your club, how is like this process to select one?
Well, there's we try to build a homogeneous team at PadelX. So every coach that we not only do we select, we receive a lot of resumes, a lot of CVs, but we select a few that not only meets our criteria, but also have a specific role in the company. For instance, at PadelX today, we have 4 coaches, plus Charlie Moon, who is actually still part of the team, although he's out on sick leave. But we have Lorena Ruyon, who's taking care specifically of the women. We have Simon Castello, who's an international coach, takes more specifically care of the advanced players. We have Tato Ruyon, who's taking care of the beginners, and now we have Agustin Velasco, who's taking care of the intermediates. So every single part of the academy is taken care with one specific coach dedicated to him.
Okay, Nale. So then, when you are creating like tournaments inside United States and against other clubs, how are you working with them? I saw this weekend that you play against different clubs like Tactica and others.
What do you mean? You mean well, this weekend we played a club tournament, which is the America's Cup. Basically, it promotes and elects the #1 club in the United States, and that's where we spend the weekend in Sarasota to compete. And yes, we played other clubs, and we're very fortunate to win the tournament. So we've been, elected the first America's Cup winners, and but it's all done in a very good atmosphere. All the clubs are supportive of each other. We are very conscious that we need a lot more clubs to become a thriving ecosystem. And for now, we're encouraging anybody who wants to build a club. We're helping. We need to be, before competing, we need to be associated and try to make the ecosystem more and more viable. And to attain a certain, I want to say, critical mass, we need a lot of more clubs. So that's the goal for everyone.
Okay, so after you consolidate this group of PadelX because you have a strong team group, what steps you are looking forward?
We're looking to expand. We're focusing very much on the South Florida market Today we have another opening in Boca Raton that's planned for end of April 2025. We have a third club opening in Palm Beach in July of 2025, and we are working hard on a bigger asset here in Miami Beach and in Miami. So our focus for 2025 is still on South Florida, and but we're not opposed to any kind of other projects. We have several groups that are from other out of state asking us to partner with them to build PadelX in other states. But we're being very selective and being very lucid and honest to ourselves. It's a lot more plates already to build these 5 clubs that we have ongoing. It's difficult to plan. The United States are so big that it's very difficult to consider to actually be in several states at the same time. That's our strategy. I know that some other clubs have others and feel like they're able to do it. It is not for now the case for us. But again, the future will tell.
Thank you, Nallé. So there is like different strategies of the different companies and for the different owners that they select how Pádel in United States are moving. A few last question I have is with the movement of Premier Padel nowadays, and we see that we are going to have a special in March. How do you see that with all this expansion of Padel in United States this last year with Pepe, with Pro Padel League and other tournaments you are creating? How do you see that Premier Padel are going to impact in a positive way inside United States?
Well, again, it's another amazing shed of light onto the paddle industry in the United States. I think that Premier had to come to the United States. It was just a matter of time for them to arrive, and I think that this first event is going to be fantastic. It's going to be played at the convention center in Miami Beach, indoors, so in perfect conditions. And there's going to be so many events around it. We are organizing an event at PadelX the weekend before, where we're going to be hosting all the biggest brands of paddle, a lot of artists, musicians, and everybody wants to come to Miami. So I think that everyone is super enthusiastic about it, and everybody is really gearing up to build and to promote paddle during that week. Through the P1 of Premier Paddle, but also through RacketX and through all the clubs that are around. So we're very, very happy about it, and we think it's going to be amazing.
Perfect, Nale. Thank you for your insights about how paddle is moving all around United States and especially with your club, PadelX, and in the all this expansion we are seeing nowadays with paddle all around the world. Thank you for being here, and we'll stay in touch for future.
Okay, thank you.